So we just got to Elkmont and we're headed up to Millionaire's Row. We're going to check out the Spence cabin. It's the only cabin left in this area of Millionaire's Row, but we're going to see that and then go see the Troll Bridge and then head up to Daisy Town. So let's go check out the Spence cabin. The sign does say that the Spence cabin is in use, but there's no cars up here, which usually means that you can go up and visit it. So we're gonna walk up and visit. This is the Spence cabin. So this again is the Spence cabin on Millionaire's Row. These were developed toward the end of the lumbering boom on prime real estate along the river. Somewhat removed from the more densely populated Daisy Town, these cabins offered more privacy for their owners and had ready access to the community's swimming hole. The Spence cabin actually was one of the largest and most impressive and was constructed in 1928 for Alice Townsend, who was the third wife of Colonel W.B. Townsend. And the house was originally called River Lodge. The Spence cabin does get used for special events and things like that. So you can see there's a little keypad on the door there. People can reserve it for daytime things. There's no overnights allowed, but they do have it that it's like a rental space. What's really cool is this front door. All that stonework. Really awesome. So what's neat about the Spence house is it's one of the largest on Millionaire's Row. I mean, it's the only one left, but it is one of the largest. It was originally called River Lodge, and because of its access to the river. And what's neat is Millionaire's Row, which is separate from Daisy Town, which we're going to head to next, but it was a way for people with more money to have better access to the community swimming hole. So there's a path along the house here that we're going to walk down, and I'll show you the swimming hole. Real quick, we'll show you the back. Nice big patio on the back of the house. And then this would have been the community swimming hole. But folks could come here, swim with river access. So we just are leaving. We saw the watering hole. We're walking away from the Spence cabin. We're gonna try to find the Troll Bridge. See if we can find it. So we shot off a path to the left of the Spence cabin. So we'll walk through and see if we can find it. Some pretty wildflowers. Well, we ended up at a gravel road. I think it's just a trail. So we'll walk the gravel road, see if we can find it. So we walked down the gravel road a little bit, and we're next to the Spence cabin. You can see it through the woods there. But we actually found the foundation and kind of the ruins of another old Millionaire's Row cabin. It's kind of crazy to think, like, standing in someone's living room, I guess. So you can see kind of fireplace with the mantle still intact. And then over here, there's some more of the house and the foundation. And you can actually see over yonder, there's another one. So we'll go over and check that out as well. Like we said, Millionaire's Row was put here so that folks with money actually had better access to the river and things, because actually there's a fireplace, and when you turn you can see the end of where the house would be, and right there is the river. So I mean, they had great access. And then that community swimming pool is right behind us, which is actually just the riverbed, but great access to the Smoky Mountains. So you do have to be careful when you're walking around. There's weirdly like a ton of glass in the ground. Don't know if it's from the house ruining or unfortunately just humans being humans. But everything's been a very easy walk, which is nice. Still on the hunt for the troll bridge. We found the troll bridge. We came up off of the gravel road, a couple, I'm going to say ruins along, and then actually turned right. There was a path to the right. So we turned right, and we're going to head up onto the troll bridge. This is the troll bridge. Pretty aptly named. Looks like any troll bridge I would have seen in a cartoon or in a fairy tale or in a movie. It's just really neat. You can walk over it, which we will in a minute, but water running through. Neat little spot. So they definitely could use some work to it. The Parks Department, you know, could invest in it, but it's one of those, I think if you're able to come out and see it while you can. A lot of stuff is going down. Oh, squirrel. You know, things do fall, and as we saw, all those other ruins of Millionaire's Row, so definitely check it out if you're able to do so. So that was Millionaire's Row. That's kind of where the folks who had money could kind of live in luxury right along the river. Really cool to see, especially since the Spence cabin is still here. The troll bridge is right there. So we're gonna head back in the car and head up to Daisy Town, which is more of your everyman's vacation little town. So it's gonna be really neat up there. We'll get to see the cabins. There's a ton that are still standing. The National Park System put a bunch of money in refurbishing and keeping them, what's the word I'm looking for? That they just kept them as is, but made them nicer and they restored them. So we're gonna go up and see Daisy Town next, so let's head up there. So now we're leaving Millionaire's Row and heading up to Daisy Town. It's literally right off of the parking lot. You just stay to the right and you can go up to Daisy Town. Welcome to Daisy Town. Daisy Town is full of cabins. Like we said, this is kind of the vacation spot for folks. Up until the 90s, 1992, 1993, about there, folks did come here to vacation. And a lot of these cabins then kind of were dilapidated and in ruin, and the National Park System stepped in and actually restored a lot of them. The ones that, you know, they had holes in the ground and the roofs were caving in. So the park system did step in and kind of take care of them a bit. And now you can come up here and check them out and see what it was like for folks who vacationed here in yesteryear. So we'll go in and check out some of the houses. Here's the very first cabin. As soon as we got out of the car, it's beautiful green with the stone steps. So it does say here it was built by the Luttrell family. So again, these folks were here until the lease expired in 1992, which is when the National Park System stepped in. So you can kind of see how it switched hands and moved around the family. If you walk in, there are outlets on the floor because again, it was the 90s by the time it was done. They even have the bathroom. but it is doored off, you know, so folks don't try to use it. I think there are restrooms somewhere up here in Daisy Town, but nice little back room area. You can see here kind of where the floor went out. But again, the park system came in and fixed stuff up, gave some things some fresh paint. I do believe all these are just one floor dwellings. If they are a second floor, we don't have access to it, but this is a nice big house. And then there's a big kitchen. This is kind of like, there's the sink there and the stove. I mean, and there's your view, you know. You're here cooking and prepping, and that's your view, which is kind of beautiful. And then the back door. And then there's a little side entrance here. Nice little back porch here. You can see the original end of the house and then the back porch. It's a very nice house for the Luttrell family. Let's head into number 11 here. This one's really neat with the scalloped porch. Looks like an awning without it being an awning. So let's check it out. So number 11 was owned by Daniel Briscoe, who was a Ford dealer, and his wife, and they had family ownership until 1992 again. Again, what's neat about this one, not only the scalloped edges, but there's a doorbell. Huge first room. And here you can see the full family history of ownership. Full bathroom. You got toilet tub. Look at the tile. Or linoleum, I guess. Clawfoot tub. And then keep working our way back so we get into the kitchen. Now the Rangers are out cleaning up today, so there's some trash bags and stuff. But nice little back room, which then leads you back into a big family room with a beautiful fireplace. And again, I mean, this is your backyard. It's beautiful. Another little room off of here. Let's see. Just so happens to be some newspapers in the window. See if we can find a year on anything. Oh, there we go. 1930. The Knoxville News Centennial. Here's stock market info from the 30s. Really neat to just see even these newspapers in here. So unfortunately we got an overcast day, so the sun's not helping us with lighting in the houses. But you can still see plenty. Oh, another little bathroom. And that's the Briscoe house, which again, really neat little house. So that's the one with the scalloped front porch. So this is number 9, which was next to 11 that we just saw. But next to it is this little cabin, and it's really neat because it was originally built in 1830 along Jake's Creek as a one-story log house. And it's actually one of the oldest buildings in the region. And it belonged to a longtime resident, Levi Trentham, it was dismantled and then moved back to the Mayo cabin and remodeled to serve as a guest house in 1932. So really neat to see this really old one-story cabin that was dismantled and then moved back for folks to enjoy. So again, we are at cabin number 9, and this one was owned by Eugene Galen and of the Galen Lumber Company. And again, they owned it until 1992 when the lease was up. But what's really neat is the National Park Service purchased this cabin on July 14th of 1933 for $485.12. But the National Park Service, while they owned it, still allowed Eugene's daughter and family to visit often through the 1990s. So this house, you walk in and immediately are in this grand living room. Nice fireplace. We'll actually pivot back and head back towards the front. This little closed in room. Would have been a beautiful bedroom. Kind of look out, see everybody around. And we're gonna see our locked up washroom, but with a fairly modern shower compared to other ones we've seen. A nice little closet in there. The light switch. And coming back through another room off to the side. Nice light fixture. And in the back is the kitchen. Again, tile looking fairly modern for other things we've seen. So nice kitchen, probably an eat-in kitchen. Could put a nice little table over there to sit and eat your breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then you come out to your back porch where the Great Smoky Mountains is your backyard. With some beautiful wildflowers down there. Let's see if we can see them. Nice bright purples. But beautiful back porch. Head back in and finish up the house. So then off of the kitchen, looks like we have a little prep kitchen area. This might have been maybe the original kitchen, and then they expanded. And then our main washroom, sink in the corner there. Yeah, this part definitely looks like an addition. And then what's really neat is there's this huge porch off to the side, and you come through these doors. Imagine opening up these doors and just letting the breeze come through. Oh, here you can see that washroom again. A little bit better angle. And obviously there wasn't a window here. It would have been closed off. But then this porch is just huge. Gorgeous. So again, that is cabin number 9, belonging to the Galen family. We'll head over to the next one. So this is the one-room log cabin that was built in 1830 that belonged to a longtime resident, Levi. And it was dismantled and rebuilt and then put here in the 1930s so folks could enjoy it as a guest house. Let's head inside. Again, it's just one room, so. But nice big fireplace. Open beam ceiling. You've got a back door, a fireplace, and a front door. Small cabin. So in here we can see, so Levi Trantham cabin that was moved here in 1932, was originally beside James Creek. beautiful guest house. So we're now at the end of Daisy Town on the one side, and you come up on probably the most unique looking house. It's a true log cabin. It's right at the end, and we'll go up and check it out. Again, definitely like the neatest looking house in Daisy Town. It's number 1, called Wild Rose. So the owner in 1910 was Weston Miller Fulton, who was an inventor and politician. There's a school in Knoxville named for him. And then the National Parks bought it again on that July 14th, 1933 for $450. And in the end, the lease expired in 1992 with everybody else's. But you can see kind of some big names and big careers owned it. So Daisy Town definitely wasn't like a spot that just anybody could own. You know, we saw Millionaire's Row, but it was definitely a spot for folks who lived in the city to get out of the city and still have these beautiful homes. And this one was a major restoration done by the parks. Here you can actually see this is what the original beams looked like in the house. They still have this in there, which is really nice of them to show that. So we'll scoot around. See this front room, which then had access into the washroom. And a nice little back room. A few bedrooms. And then it comes off onto this. Again, just beautiful back porch area. Because seriously, if you're gonna have a house here, you're gonna have these open back porches because it's just, what a backyard. And there we come into a kitchen. This is a fairly medium-sized kitchen for other ones we've seen. It might be a little bit bigger. Nice prep area. And then the kitchen takes you right outside. So again, beautiful home, the log cabin restoration, great job by the National Park System. They've done a great job with Daisy Town. So a lot of work has gone into restoring Daisy Town, and you can actually see here some side-by-sides of the houses that we've been going in and out of what they looked like before the renovation and then after. And this is fairly recent, April of 2021. So the crew has been working really hard to make sure everything is correct and the details are correct. So kudos to Forever Places. It's friend of the Smokies, it says. So kudos to the National Parks team for doing all this. So just finished up Daisy Town. It was a lot of fun going in and out of all of the cabins and learning about them, learning how they changed hands over the years and how, you know, folks were here. I think the latest one we saw was 2001 that somebody gave up the lease. They were probably the holdout, but everybody else extended into the 1990s. And what was really neat is we found out at one point they only had power for 2 hours a day. That's all the electricity they had. And then in the 70s, everybody signed a contract with the park system that they could get commercial electricity for the rest of their 20-year leases if they kind of all signed over into that 20-year contract with them. So that's when they got their commercial electricity. So imagine from the 1930s to the 1970s, for 40 years, they had power for 2 hours a day, which is kind of crazy. So, but definitely neat. Definitely, if you can visit Daisy Town.
Really cool to see.
Yeah, really cool to see. I'd say the house is really neat. There's some surprises in one. We didn't film it, but there was one inside of the kitchen. You could actually see the notches of where the kids were growing up and in the family and all those things, and they did preserve those. So great job by the park system and the Friends of the Smokies for preserving all of this. So now we're going to head over and keep going on the trail here and head to Cades Cove. We'll see you there. we've made it to Cades Cove and we are on the scenic loop. We're hoping to see some bears. In fact, we may have already seen some. And we're gonna stop at a few places and just kind of take in the drive and take in the scenery. So come along with us as we explore Cades Cove in the Great Smoky Mountains.